Hello, welcome back. Thank you for being there. Again, as always, I'm going to check the audio first in the monitor as soon as I come in. Live monitor there. Let's hear it. There it is. It's all good. Perfect. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for being there. Thank you for being part of this live stream yet again. Another day, another Thursday. Thank you so much for being there. And of course, as always, everything you say and do will be right there in the chat. So yes, thank you so much. And yes, let's get started. Today we're going to get started fast because came in a bit later than I should have. Probably should have come in a bit earlier, but yeah, I forgot to put on to set the live stream notification things. I'm sorry, I put it very, very late, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna leave some time to allow people to realize that a live stream is gonna happen. Otherwise, nobody shows up. So yeah, I just I wanted to put on the notification first, leave some time, and wait a little for people to arrive. Otherwise, it was just been me here. So yeah, thank you for being there again. And yeah, beautiful day here in Liverpool today. Amazing day, incredible. Really, we've had such good weather, and it's very impressive. But yeah, my wife today had to work, and honestly, I don't feel like I feel like I'd rather be here with you than being alone out there. So that's how much I want to be here today. And so yes, thank you for your company wherever you're watching from. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what time it is. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some game developing today. And yes, say hello in the chat, leave a like, subscribe, all that. You know what to do. All the things that always help bring more awareness about these live streams going on. So yes, thank you so much. So okay, we'll start with first Matty of the live stream, as always, to keep us awake, to keep us vigilant and productive as much as can be. Yes, sir. Ooh. Yes. Okay. Always need the first matter to go ahead with the live stream. Okay, so today's Grandparents' Day in Uruguay, and I want to say Happy Grandparents' Day to everyone in the world. I don't even live in Uruguay anymore, but hey, I still remember my grandparents, and today is also the National Heroes Day stuff, so it's like the same day, the same birth of the national hero is the day of the grandparents, celebrated in that way, which I think is beautiful. It's a beautiful analogy. So I want to say, I want to congratulate every grandparent out there in the world, and yes, and just say hello to your grandparents if you have them. If you're lucky to have your grandparents, you tell them that you love them today. Tell them it's Grandparents' Day in Uruguay. They're gonna be happy about it. I'm sure. Yeah, I just have one left. She has Alzheimer's, so she doesn't even know who I am. And but I have my memories with her, and that's what matters. So yes, beautiful message to start today. Give love to the people who have lived enough to, have shorter time in this world and schedule less time than probably most of us have. So hey, yes, again, give your love to your grandparents today. Tell them it's Grandparents' Day in Uruguay. They're gonna love it. Okay, all right. So let's start with the live stream. Okay, let's start with the game development. And I forgot to open the project. Here I am opening the project now. God, Yes. Meanwhile, in the meantime, you give a like, you give subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do. You know all the stuff that helps. It always helps. So yes, Ronaldo Mate, and for all the grandparents out there, for all the lovely people out there watching this live stream, and your grandparents, we say cheers to them. How's it going, friend Master 2000? Thank you for being here, mate. Nice to have you here. Amazing. How's it going? By the way, friend Master 2000 spotted a bug. Like, went around, like, I mean, to spot that, I think you weren't even using it. I think you weren't even using the code, as you said. At least that's what you said. If I remember correctly, you were looking at the code and you saw that, like, oh, I'm just looking at code, and whoa, I noticed a bug. Like, you're probably the first person to do that to my open source code. So I'm like, okay, thank you. Amazing. Brilliant stuff. So thank you. And that's amazing. That's what you should do. It's just looking at it to understand Rapier integration. I love that. You know, when you do that, that's the way to learn how to use Rogue Engine. I think it's just to see, because some things I can communicate easily, and others you can see how they're made, and then you realize, oh, this is how I should go about this, and or this is a good way of going about this. So I very much recommend doing that. You know, really helps. So yes, go for that. Yes, very, very good way to proceed there, Friendmaster 2000. By the way, we are Friendmaster 2000 is on Twitch. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. Right, you can find me in both platforms as Beardscript, at Beardscript. So hey, find me there, and give a follow, give a like, give a subscribe, all that, and really helps. Yeah. Okay, let's start today. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep that promise. Today we're going to finally make the final decision of what we're going to do with our little minions and weapon system. Oh, sorry, something went wrong there. Yeah, remember, I'm using my development version. As always, I use the latest development version, which means that there may be some bugs here and there. And yeah, we'll see those bugs arise and cause issues and much trouble, as we have seen. We'll also notice some problems. That great thing is that we can add features as I'm seeing problems or things. We can find what the bugs are, we can solve them, and we can add features and all that. So that's I think it's a great thing. We can test them live, right? Which is what matters. Test the good and the bad and all that live. So hey, let's get started here. As I promised, we're going to look at the minion code, and the decision that I came to, the reasoning that I came to, was that it's best to go with whatever we were doing last and just keep with that, which is using weapons within the minion, right? Within the character, like say, okay, character uses weapon because it's the most intuitive one. And if we realize that this is not a good way to integrate it later, then we can change it. Okay, we can change it. We can change it's not that easy to change. It's not that hard to change. It's just a matter of who's making the decisions. Is this a weapon used by the minion, or is a minion using weapons? And the reasoning behind this is who we want to be more generic. We want the minion to be more generic. So who is the master system? That's the actual question. It's not really about a question of who is if the minion uses weapons or weapons using minion. Is where do we put the focus on who's handling things, right? And what are the generic details that we're going to be taking into the minion, the actual orchestrator. And in this case, it's going to be the minion. We could make the weapon the orchestrator of specific decisions, but that would create more specific behavior, which I think is more of a problem. So, yes. Because what I realized later was that would imply that the weapon uses a minion that has a specific sort of structure. When if we want to use the weapon for the towers, we would need a superstructure on top of the minions and the towers, other than the character, because the character, we don't control the character component, right? It's part of an extension. So that would mean extending yet again. So we don't want to have a massive, extension system of hierarchies and, inheritance. That's not what we want. As always, I am not dogmatic about hierarchies, extension and inheritance versus composition. I always favor composition versus hierarchy. That's why we have a component system and rogue engine, and not something else. But yes, I always favor composition. The thing is, I think it's not good to be dogmatic and say, oh, we only use composition. I think there's legit cases where it's much better to have inheritance and to keep functionality within a certain structure. And that is what we're doing today. We're just going to go ahead and use the weapons here. And the last thing we did was we were getting all the weapons. And yeah, we got all the weapons. We decided, hey, let's get these weapons and figure out how we're going to use them. Let's see where we're using the weapons. Where are we using the weapons? We're getting the weapons here. And are we shooting them at all here in the attack thing, in the select state, apply state? No, we're not doing anything here in the apply state yet. So yes, we're just going to, right now what we want is to have, we have selected all the weapons, right? So we have a list of weapons, and now we're going to get the range. Yes, that's the thing we're doing. We need to get what range do we start attacking. So we have, as we saw here, right? The state machine that we have is, if we are in attack, in distance to attack, right? With distance to target is smaller than equal to our attack range, which is the range that we start attacking, not the range that we go to the opponent to attack. Is the distance to which we, I have a knife and I start just, using my knife, just stabbing. That's the moment. That's what this means. This means stab. This doesn't mean move towards the player to stab it. This is move. So this is just, okay, we're not in range, so we need to move, right? So when we need to move, we find, we just move. We find where our next waypoint is. It could be the enemy. It could be something else. And we just move to that waypoint. And when we're in range to an enemy, we attack, right? So that's the difference. If we have enemies in our, if we have a target enemy, then that's going to be our waypoint. That's basically how it works, right? We move to the next waypoint, regardless of it being simply a place in the world or an enemy. So yes, that's how the game design here is working, more or less. I hope this is being useful, by the way, for game design wise. I think it is. I genuinely think it is, but I don't know. Maybe you've seen this before and you don't care. Who knows? So we have attack range, and the attack range could be, oh, we got the compiler is back. Why is it back? I don't know. It's back. I don't know. This thing just activated itself again. Well, it knows where. It knows that I want to do a reduce, but I was thinking of doing. We could do a reduce, or we could do yeah, we could do a reduce, or we could do like math max. Yeah, this is exactly it. That's okay. Yeah, let's leave it like that. well, no attack range. This is range, but yeah, well, it did really help us there. That was good. The other way to do this as well, but yeah, the way I was going to do it is less. I think is less efficient. I was going to do yeah, math.max these weapons map. Yeah, I was going to do that. That's what I was going to do. Yes, I was going to get a map. I was just going to, but it was one iteration and then a decomposition. So that is less efficient than this. A reduce is much more efficient because a reduce goes once through each one of these and then brings back the result, right? So it brings back the max range here. And it says, okay, which is the max? You know, the one we had previously, right? So this is the initial value. It brings an initial value in and says, okay, what's the biggest one, 0 or the range that we have in this first weapon? Okay, the range is greater. Okay, so we pass in this range here. Okay, the next one, which is greater? You know, so we do max with each one of these, and we return the value that we get. So max range is always going to get the result of the last iteration. And it's one go, right? Just go through the thing, one go is much better than what I was going to do initially. Definitely a much better solution. So yeah, good. That was a good thing by the pilot, which is really good for these one-liners. It's a great autocomplete. Definitely fantastic as that. Yeah, like I say, 80% of the time, I say it's great autocomplete. Yeah, for all the more complicated things where sometimes, you know, it's just but yeah. Okay. Let's look at the code here. Let's look at the other things. What else we need to do? So okay, we have the attack range. So we're going through each weapon, getting which has the greatest attack range, and we're using that as our attack range so that we know when we can attack. So if we are in attack range, okay, so because we can have, say, like I said before, like I said in the last live stream, and the one before that, I think, if we have a knife, right, and we have a bow, right, or we have, say, a sword and a bow, when we are in the range of the bow, we want to start attacking, right? And then what the switch that we need to do now is that when you get into the knife range and the sword range, melee range, then we start attacking melee, right? So we always prefer melee. We always prefer the weapon with the lowest range that the enemy is at, right? So if the enemy is at the bow's range, but it's not at the sword range, we're not going to use the sword, right? We're just going to throw with our bow because that's what we have. Unless the bow doesn't have any more arrows, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Okay, so yes, let's go for attack. Attack. Okay. By the way, if you're enjoying this, if you're enjoying this game design talk, game design stuff, you just leave a like, subscribe, all that. It really helps. As always, I keep repeating it. I'm sorry, but it's the way. You know, it's if I don't say it, if I don't repeat it, people don't do it, and YouTube says people don't like this, so it just buries it down there. Mostly because I'm not, you know, if you don't have the ads thing, you know, it's affiliate or something like that. I don't know how the thing is called. Channel gets very little attention until, you know, they can actually, you know, partner, monetize, and all that. So yeah. Okay. Let's get another one for the right. As we go here and look for, okay, so we have the attack. So we need to focus here on the attack. When we apply the state here, we're going to go through probably, do we attack with the, that's a good question. Which weapon are we attacking with? Because there we got the max range, right? So it's our max attack range, probably a max attack range. And because now we need to know which weapon is at the closest attack range and use that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll call this, just to avoid confusions, we're going to call this attack range. We're going to right click here. We're going to go to rename symbol. We're going to say max attack range. There you go. So this is going to be your max attack range. All right. And we're going to do is we're going to say that we're going to say that here. Oh, I don't like looking at I don't like looking at all the weapons in the first each frame. This is going to happen each frame we're attacking. But we need to do this. It's not too bad. I mean, you're not going to have more than 2 weapons, 3 at max. So it's not a bad thing. It's really I'm worrying about something really stupid. I shouldn't. Brandon Blackwell saying, it's cool, man. It's good content. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. Hopefully more people start to think the same and come and watch. I don't know. But hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. By the way, I think it's fairly dark, right? Camera looks a bit dark. Let me go do the camera a bit of a favor here, okay? It looks better now, doesn't it? Yeah. I think it looks much better. Oh, Friend Master says, yes, good content. And when I don't catch streams, I always watch the VODs on YouTube. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. That really helps. That really helps. Also, leaving a like really helps. So don't forget to do that. And yeah, subscribe, like all that. You know, it really helps. And thank you so much for the praise. That really means a lot. It means a lot, really, because doing these live streams, it's a pleasure, but it's also it is kind of demanding as well. So you know, in the head, it's more than I thought it would be. It's weird. It's weird. I think I'm gonna get used to it, but yeah, and sometimes can be very demoralizing. Mostly when there's nobody there, and I feel like I'm just talking to a wall. So you know, it's yeah. So I really appreciate you all being there, seriously, and the people commenting in the chat, like talking to me. That really, you know, can kind of pushes me through. At least, you know, even if you just say, yeah, it's something, you know, it really helps. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being there, for talking in the chat, all that. All right. Friend Master says, I have a couple of questions again. That's no problem. Go ahead and ask them. We're gonna do this, okay? I'm going to perform the attack. We're gonna test the attack, and then I'm gonna answer your questions. So yeah, leave them there in the chat. And I'm gonna read them as soon as we're finished with this thing, okay? So that we have like a structure thing. As I always say, your questions are priority. So come in with your questions. This is a space where I develop games and I answer your questions and do all that. So come on in and you know, it's just ask all the questions you want. And yeah, I'm here for you. This is a channel of communication with you. So you know, this is what it is. I just sit here and make a game because I need to do this anyway. So this is the excuse to sit down with you, do something useful that you may find use of as well, and to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, you go ahead and ask. I'm here for you. All right. So attack. Let's perform the attack. All right. So how do we attack? So first things first, we need to get which weapon is the closest to the to our which weapon is closer to our enemy, or to a current target, right? So because we need to know which weapon is actually doing the attack, because we're in attack range. We know we're in attack range, so we're at least at the longest attack range, and we're always using that to know we can attack, because we know we can attack, and we are going to attack because some weapon is in attack range. This is what we know so far. So that's the place we're in right now. And so when we are going to say attack now, we need to find out which one of our weapons, which can be can be like a bow and my fists, right? And then I say, okay, am I close enough to punch you? Then maybe I shouldn't be just drawing a bow. You know, I shouldn't be drawing a bow. I'm gonna get knocked. I'm gonna get killed. So maybe I'm just gonna hit you with a bow. You know, just gonna grab the bow and start hitting you, punching you with it. But I'm not gonna draw. I'm not gonna draw because it's probably gonna be a bit difficult to hit you with it. So but I've never drawn a bow. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe someone will tell me, no, you just draw. But hey, I don't know. I would grab a sword and start fighting with that. But hey, I've never been in that situation. So with the information we have, with the little information that we have right now, it's we're gonna say the let's see if smallest weapon. What the hell does that? Was it trying to say? Okay, let's say let's call it, let's give it a name. Let's give it let's give the variable a name, shortest range weapon. Let's see if it does. Okay, weapons, it wants to do a reduce. Let's vibe this one. Let's see if it does it. Just for fun. Let's see if it does something useful or not. This wants to show, what's it saying? Shortest weapon. No, I don't want that. It's just do it in one liner. Yeah, just do it in a one liner, you idiot. What are we going to do? Yeah, we want to know if, get distance to target. There you go. Oh, it's a very big one-liner. Yeah, no, not a one-liner. Yeah, it's it's quite long for a one-liner. If the range shortest, yeah, this is what we want. Yeah, exactly what we want. This is good. Yeah, perfect. Brilliant. That was good. That was really good. So if the range of our weapon is smaller than the shortest is the one we're getting, right? Range, and the weapon range that we have is greater or equal than the distance to the target, then we return this weapon, right? And because we want to know if the previous range that we brought in, right, was greater than we want to know if the range that we're bringing in is smaller than the range that we had before, right? Than the range that we have right now. Sorry. So that then we see, okay, if that range is also greater or equal than the distance. Wait, what? Greater or equal? No, not greater or equal. Smaller or equal. Well, we know this is not needed really, because we know that all of them. Yeah, we know that all of them are within target range, because we have the biggest one already. So let's not waste time on that. Yeah, that's just wasteless computation. So yeah, more or less we got kind of there. It did a wrong greater than, smaller than. So that's, that was a bit. that was not vibe. That was not good vibe, eh? That was not good vibes. Really bad there. Really bad decision. But hey, I don't know. Like I always say, these things, if you don't know what you're doing, I think I thought about, sort of going through the vibes with these things sometimes to sort of show you where the mistakes really are, how these things sometimes do really bad things, and you need to be aware of that. Because I don't know how I know some people are very, very obsessed with these things, and you need to be very careful. Mostly if you're obsessed with these things. Careful. So shortest range weapon dot attack. That's what it wants me to do. Brilliant. I think. Does attack take an enemy? No. It's just hallucinating something. I don't think attack takes anything. Attack doesn't take anything. So it doesn't even know what the weapon looks like. I mean, because if it knew the API of it knows there's an API, it's like an attack, but it says you should probably pass in an enemy. In this case, we don't really care about that. It could be. It's a good suggestion. It's saying, hey, it's just find the enemy and attack it, probably. Yeah. Something else. Another way of handling this that I thought, and this is something. If I move around, I don't want this thing showing up there. This is very bothering. Like get your shit together, cursor, whatever. No, cursor, no, the Copilot thing. Get your shit together. Really, this is unacceptable. It's not acceptable that I just press enter and then get a suggestion. Just don't, please don't, because it's just stupid. And also the suggestion is really bad. It's like a really bad situation. No. That's not what we want here. We're not changing states here. We're not doing anything like that. We're doing what we need to do here, what we came here to do, which is just attack. And I just wanted to leave this in a blank, separate line. That's all we wanted to do. So let's do that. All right. We're performing the attack there. If we are in attack range. When we attack, what are we doing when we attack? We set the timer and we attack every single time there. Roll that. That's what we do, right? Now, what this weapon will do is it should attack. It should perform some kind of damage to a character. So what we're going to do is going to come to the shooter tower. Let's going to go to the shooter tower. Let's see. By the way, I'm gonna go read your messages now. So make sure you leave some messages there. I'm gonna go there and read them. I was gonna get distracted. I was just going to the chat now, and I was, no. Let's finish this first. Now I'm gonna go to the chat and read your messages. So before we do that, my throat is going away. Okay. How are we applying the damage to the character? So we're not applying damage to characters. We're shooting projectiles and we're letting the projectiles do the damage thing. Okay. So it's the projectiles doing the damage, and the projectiles and probably the this is the difference of the we have the shooting tower. If we have a beam, we're actually applying damage when it's a beam, but when you have a projectile, right? So if we have a projectile, we are sending that projectile and letting that be the thing that's harming the enemy. And if we have a beam, we're making the beam look at the enemy position, right? And we're just using that beam to the right of the weapon. So that's what we're doing with the towers, and we're applying the damage as the beam happens, right? As the beam gets visible, we apply the damage, right? That's what we do, right? We don't look at collisions and anything because it's pointless, right? We know we're hitting the target anyway. Where it's a tower defense, so it's a kind of RTS. It's always just going to be shooting at something, and it's going to be getting it every time. Yeah, you can add some kind of a, you know, logic here to say didn't hit or not, things like that. But hit or miss things, you know, but probabilities. But the tower defense, it's unnecessary. So that's not what the game goes about. The game goes about, you know, how you set up your towers, timing, all that. So well, it depends on, actually depends on you. It's up to you. So yeah, let's do that. Let's say this is what I was talking about. This is what I have as a kind of a bit of a problem with. Should the weapon have the targets and not the minions? You see what I'm talking about here? Should the weapons have the range, right? Since the weapons have the range, should they start attacking? Sorry, should they get the enemies, like just sort of say, okay, I have these enemies in range, right? And decide to attack them. That's a good thing to think about. That's something else. I'm not doing that now, but that's something to think about, because these weapons are very generic in that sense, but they will take an enemy. Right now, we need to say, okay, we need to pass in something, or we need to return something. We either need to return the damage, right? We need to say, okay, return damage and a damage target, right? Or we need to use like in this case a generic, right? Because here's the thing, we could say like return 0 here, right? What's say 0 and no, return 0, okay? And here we say, oh no, here, and here we say return this damage, right? And so whatever we return here, we pass in, and we perform the damage in the where is it? In the minion. Where's the minion? Yeah. So we could pass in, say, okay, const damage equals, this is the damage, and then we say this target. Don't we have a current target thing? We don't have a current target thing. Enemies 0 then. We say apply damage. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's what we want. So we can apply the damage here, and we'll leave the weapons very generic. Otherwise, we pass in the character here in the attack, which would make this line of code go away, but we need to add it to the weapon, which would make it less generic. If we say it's a character, then that's fine. But because we don't say it's a minion, we say it's a character, right? So we can shoot anything, right? That's the key there. But it's important to figure out who really has the targets and how generic do we want this to be. That is very important. Right now, this will work. This will do. And yeah, let's test it. Okay, let's test it, and let's see how it does. You know. Oh no, what's going on there? They're not even hitting themselves. What are they doing? They're dancing. Okay, they're dancing. What is this? Oh, okay, we changed the ranges. Yeah, we need to change the ranges. They don't have weapons. Yeah, some of them don't have weapons. I think this one has a weapon. Yeah, the weapon has a range of 3, a damage of 5. Yeah, this one has attack range 1. It says, right? But what we want is to have, we are going to give them all weapons. We're going to give them all weapons, right? So we're going to just come here and say weapon, RTS weapon. Okay. Just going to come up here and we can just say 3 and 5 was it, right? And what else? This one too. Well, actually, we can just grab this one. Say 5 3. Yeah, we can we can actually just go ahead and come here. And where is it? Where is it here? A friendly minion. Yeah, we're just going to update it here. And this should update the other one as well. Yeah. So both of them now look the same, you see. We updated the prefab and just both of them get the same. But this one has a different prefab, right? So now we need to update this prefab separately. And there you go. There it is. So let's see how that does. Oh, they killed it. They killed it. You saw that, right? It died. It died. Okay, good. I think probably a bit fast, but let's say one. Let's say one attack range. I wonder. I wonder. Should we check the health? Why didn't we see the health reducing? Wow! It just went away. It just went away. It died. It died. Let's see if this one's getting hit or not. Oh yeah. We see the bar. No, we saw the health bar. Yeah, we saw the health bar. There you go. Look at that. Boom. Dead. But that minion's not attacking. This one's not attacking. It's not performing any damage. 3. Attack rate. I don't know why this one wasn't performing damage. It should have been like at least damaging this one. But hey, that was good. We saw they were fighting. Oh no, it is performing damage. Let's see. Let's see when the other ones come in. Let's see what they do. Oh, this one performs a lot of damage. Oh, we have a problem there. Oh, the targets don't leave. You see, it's still attacking the target. That's not there. That's the waypoint. It just stays there. Or maybe, oh no, maybe it just doesn't change the waypoint. But hey, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I'm going to read your questions now. Oh my God, we have a bunch of messages. It's brilliant. That's excellent. Where did I leave before here? Oh, Brandon Blackwell says, I do a lot of talking to myself. I don't have any dev communities. Well, just come here and talk to us. Just come here and talk to us. We are eager to hear you. And I definitely, this is me talking to someone right now, because if I'm not talking to users, definitely I have some problems with that sometimes. That, you know, it's very isolating. You know, working on these things by yourself so long, it's very isolating. So talking to users is my gateway, and friends as well. We usually have friends, devs and all that, and that really helps as well to keep myself grounded and head somewhere else. I do freelance work sometimes as well, so that that helps a lot as well to have my, you know, head on some other things, which but yeah, I wish I could have like a proper team to work on Rogue Engine and, you know, talk to devs about these things. You know, that needs financial backing, and right now that's not possible. So yeah. Friend Master. Okay, here it comes. The questions. I'd like to understand Rogue Engine props data. Okay, how to use it and what kind of assets can be dragged into it in the editor. And similar question for RE props code. What is usage for this prop? Okay, I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna see if we have any other questions here. Oh, Brandon saying that it was readable. Yeah, it looked better after. Yeah, after a few tries, it got readable, and you mix up logic as well. Yeah, happens a lot. Brown says, I avoid AI as much as I can, but still use it often for code examples and tech I'm new at. Yeah, that's a good way to go at if you like very, very new and you want some like snippets of things. That works. I think at least you're gonna get what's average in the internet. So I guess it's not bad. Yeah, but it's good to avoid it when it's good to not make it, I think, an obsession to just or just the go-to thing is just go, oh, okay, use AI for everything. It's just vibe code like that. I hate that because I think it's ridiculous. It just destroys. It's not what coding is about, right? It's not what coding is about. It's good to have like it's a great autocomplete for things, but it's not good for doing actual programming work. So it's good that you think about your code and think what you want to build and why, and leave and you building the things. And okay, if it understands what you're doing, understands as that, let's take that with a grain of salt, and maybe will sort of help you get to the place where you need to be. And saying save that head logic for the next version. Yes. Maybe it's too fast. It could be. I think the problem here we have is the not the hit logic itself. I think it's I think the problem is, first of all, that we have given one of them one as range as it's an attack, and the other one as 5 probably. So this one has 5. So this one's going to really make damage, a lot of damage, very fast. You see now it's a lot slower, and now you can see that this one's doing damage. You see, okay, they're fighting for a while. I think it's more interesting, right, to have an actual fight like that. As a targeting, I think it's wrong there. Targeting is a bit wrong. We need to give the minions a new waypoint, and you say, okay, just leave that go and just get moving. You don't have anything to attack now. Yeah, or go get your next target, because that's the thing. It has another target, right? When one more comes here and kills this guy, and then it doesn't come here and help to kill this other one, and it just stays there. You should actually come here and start fighting this one. That's what should actually happen. So now let's answer. Let's change the topic a little bit to answer Friendmaster 2000 questions. Okay, so Friendmaster 2000 asking about the props data and the props code. These are two very interesting decorators. I think they're useful for two very different things, but we're going to, two not very different things, I wanted to say, because they both save some sort of data. In the case of code, it allows you to save a string that represents code. So for instance, let me show you one of the uses of code, which I think I have here right now, where I can show you one. That is the health bar. The health bar is using, oh, sorry, I clicked and here it was. This is code. It just gives you this, right? It gives you a little code thing that you can use here. So let's go into the minion. As you can see, no, not the minion. The where is it? UI health bar, I think it is. Isn't how did? I mean, I can read the name of the Rogue CSS2D. Okay, so I just added a Rogue CSS2D. Okay, let's go into the Rogue CSS2D. You can download this from the marketplace, by the way. It's Rogue CSS2D, and you'll find it there. Let's go into the thing and show you how it works. It's just this, right? So it says props code HTML, right? And you pass in HTML. I think it takes a few others, but that's the one I use. I think it takes, let's see, GLSL, HTML, and JSON. So you can write any of those. And so you pass in an HTML, where you can pass in all kinds of HTML, right? So, you can pass in your CSS as well, things like this. So if you need something very small, short like this, like a health bar, you can just add it, type it, like inline it here. And like in this case, you have an offset where you can bring it up like that, you know, and this is a little bit of a use of it, where, you know, you can change the color here live as well. This is using, by the way, I don't know if it was you. No, I don't think it was you who asked about the, but you were here the last time where I spoke about the editor stuff, like editor code things and all that. But this will change in real time here as well, right? Like for instance, the background here is 99999 right there, right? So I could say, well, this is doing 991. I could say 199, and it should change. Let's see if it changes, or maybe I changed the wrong thing. I don't know. 991. Which one did I change? Oh, it was this one, 199. But yeah, we didn't see any. This is the indicator. We should make it green. No, sorry. We say indicator. We say white. Oh, sorry. Has a I left the thing there. Yeah, make the indicator white, and it should change. I know it's not changing. It should change in real time. We'll make it I don't know, width, what's that, health bar width, 3, 4, I don't know, it should be changing in real time. I know it's not changing, but let's see what's happening there. That's weird. That should be actually changing in real time easily, but because we should see the change even afterwards, right? Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, I know why. Yeah, because these ones are overwriting that. Yeah, I added the same. This is my fault here because I added the same code here. So these ones are just, this is just pasting code below. This is why you should be careful how you use this. Okay, the this thing here. But yeah, because if I change, like, I think if I change this one, it will change all of them. Probably like 4. Like, there you go. It changed all of them. Like if I say here, I say white, and it'll change all of them because they all have the same name like this. I should scope it somehow. I probably should add some kind of scope. Yeah, because this is obviously wrong. Oh yeah. Oh, what an idiot. I yeah. Screw that. I did screw that. So, yeah. I did screw that up, didn't I? All right. Yes. So let's bring this in here, and yeah, let's bring this up here. And what is this? 991, 991, 991 with 3. Yes, and this one 3. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We can save the scene safely. Yeah, but that's what the code is doing. So yeah, let me know if that was a good explanation, if you want to know anything else. But that's what code does, basically. It lets you write down code that in this case is using it to insert HTML into, it creates a div, and it where is it, where is it doing it? It's simply let's see where it's doing it. Where is it doing it? Where is it sending the content? Well, oh, okay, yeah, here. Okay, I'm an idiot. I had it in front of my face. Yeah, it's a set. I wrote this line. I wrote this line by line. I wrote this. This was not vibe coded. This is actually written code that I wrote by myself. And I'm looking at it like, what is? Where's the HTML? It's right in front of my face. So I'm gonna have the content here. So this is setting the content. Every time you write there, it's setting it here to this, and it's being added to the HTML, to the div that we're creating here. You see, we just have a div. It's just a create element div like this. I was just adding the HTML like that. So this is a good way to add HTML UIs. This is a decent way of doing it. You can scope your HTML however you want. You can use it however you want. That's I think it's one of my favorite ways of doing UI. Mostly these kinds of like little things here. But Nice. I would use it for defining JSON objects right in the editor. Yeah, that helps as well. That really helps. If you need to do that, definitely. My favorite way of doing that is just having actual JSON files, but it depends on how you go about it. Actually, it could be very useful. Well, not actual JSON files. I like having like I like my editor for writing code. So unless I have like a little bit of a configurator that I really need, I try to avoid it. But yeah, some people ask for it, so I just added it because it was simple, it was easy. It was just a matter of allowing HTML and GLSL and also JSON. So it's just a little bit. For me, it's no effort really. It was no effort addition. So yeah, even though I recommend using your editor to write things, code down, I think it's good. It works. So yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah, when you have something that goes in the prefab, like in a specific instance of a prefab, it may really help you. Like, it may be very useful. Or that it changes scene to scene. It's the same thing. You need to change from scene to scene. That could be very useful, like configuration sort of thing. It could be useful. Maybe properties are better for that, but I don't know. Depends on what you're doing actually. So yeah, you have options. That's a good thing. You have options. Okay, so you have the melee minion, friendly minion, all these things. What else did you ask? You asked about data, the data prop. Okay, so the data prop, what's it doing? Let's go to the data prop. The data prop is actually just to save data. If we let's add one here. Let's come here to the minion and just add a data prop. I'm going to show you what it's doing. Data. I'm going to say data. I'm just going to call it data, and we're just going to do this. Okay. Yeah, just going to add it like that. Okay, so what this is doing, as you can see, there's nothing here. You see, yeah, it's just this one. I got this one that has a bunch of properties already, so it's hard to see where it starts. The ones here start at speed, right? Start at speed, and there's no data prop here. So where is it, right? So it's blind. It's actually not there. It's a bit of a fake prop. It's not going to show anything in the editor, but what it's going to do is going to let you save things that happen in the editor. So you see here, you can save a JSON file as you're building things. So this is a configurator for things that are happening within the object, within the context of that object. So for instance, I'm using that I use that, for instance, in a character to save animation information and certain states like that, certain state information. I built it for I think the first time I built it for specifically for that character, and then I used it for other characters like that. But some people have been asking for this, for a way to actually save JSON information, and that's what it's actually doing. So it's actually just a JSON there, and just add whatever you want. And if you change things, say if I have a button here, right, that adds something down here to this data, or changes the value within that data, add something, whatever you want to do, you need to keep up that structure yourself. That's of course your responsibility. Whatever you have there, it will be serialized within the either the prefab or the scene as well. So that's the key. That's why it's a prop, because props get serialized, the values get serialized. So whatever you add here, it will be serialized and saved. And so yeah, and it's a way to have this sort of blind data property that is not an actual like JSON there that is bothering you maybe. It's just data that you don't want to display, but it's data that you want to serialize for that component and that whole object, right? So yeah, that's more or less what it's doing. So saying so it's like user data in Three.js. Kind of. I think user data is mostly like user data is, it's kind of like user data, because user data gets serialized. That's true. So yes, it would be like use data, but I guess the goal of use data is mostly to for runtime purposes. This is more like for editing, like when you're editing, and then to have something that you want to be used in runtime later. So when you're editing, you want something to be pre-configured in a certain way. That happens, if you say if you did something, if this is the first animation that you set up or things like that, certain things that you do in that specific moment, you want them to be saved in that object, a state of that object. I just save it there, and it will be there next time you create that object. So it's like a little bit of a blind, like a proper database for that object, right? It's kind of like user data. Yeah, I would say it's very much it's a good analogy. It's probably very close to it, probably closer than I give it credit for. But yeah, it is good for configurations. I wouldn't say it's good for configurations that you want to edit, right? It's good for a configuration that you want to edit when you want to like. It's good for a configuration that you want to say have multiple states of something, for instance, and say, okay, if this is happening here, I want this configuration, right? So you sort of swap the configuration depending on a different Dropbox, like a drop down. You change the drop down and you change the configuration, something like that, and all the properties change, because you can sort of use that to change all the properties in the same component, right? You can read the object with the button, right? Okay, when you're setting with the setter, right? When you're setting the drop down for a certain property, right? The drop down property, you use the setter, and as you're using the setter, you grab the data and you reconfigure the component depending on the information that you got from the setter, from the dropdown. So yeah, it's I think that's what I used it for. In fact, what I used it for was because I had like a little like it was an animated component that I created that you can, with the dropdown, you could choose like which animation it was using and have all kinds of little configurations depending on the animation that I was using. So say I had like a run animation, and the run animation had, say, I don't know, so I didn't have to have like I could change the values depending on which animation was selected. So if a certain animation was selected, I could save what the run animation was doing, right? So here I would have like, say, okay, the things I would save dynamically here would be, say, like run, I don't know, say speed, 1, something transition type, I don't know, something like that, and all the information about the animation, and then this would be serialized. So then I would, whenever I change the drop down, I say, okay, give me which animation is this, the run animation. So I grab the run animation, I set the speed, and I could see those values in the different props here, see the speed, the max range, the value for the animation. See, it was a way to have like a little bit of an editor there within the editor, right? It's creating a little mechanism to have editing mechanisms within the editor. But yeah, that's what it's doing. It's a great question, fantastic question. Keep them coming, because you're asking fantastic questions and they really help. So yes, that's really good. That's really good. Very useful. I think it's a useful little tool that is not very intuitive to use at first glance. It's not something that it's something that you will need to kind of think about a little bit. Kind of like that. For Ari props code, will GLSL get compiled? No, you can inline the GLSL. That's supposed to be the code that you simply drop in the you inline it in the material, in the directly in the material, and you can have your little GLSL running. Just like you would do in there are a bunch of 3.js examples showing how how you pass in the GLSL. You can just pass it in like that. So it's kind of a simple way of having something where you can test your materials at runtime there and have your own little material builder in a way. So you can build your own little GLSL editor to work with certain shaders, things like that. So you have the you can pass in your shader code directly. You can inline it. No problem, mate. Thank you for asking the questions. Again, keep them coming. Great questions. Great questions, and very, very good information there. Really for everyone. Yeah, all questions. When you ask a question, and I can answer it here, we're all gaining. I'm gaining a lot of valuable time here to explain these things, and I think it's people get some entertainment out of it as well. I hope. I'm not saying that I'm a clown, here entertaining your party. I'm not gonna go and get hired as a clown to entertain your party at all. But I am. I think this is entertaining if you like the topic, It is what it is. Is what you get. Is what you get. If I were a stand-up comedian, I'd be a stand-up comedian, and I wouldn't be here coding, I guess. Maybe it could be both, but probably not. Probably not. Yeah. So again, thank you for your questions. Keep them coming, and yeah, let's get them answered. All of your questions. Keep questions coming in. Alrighty. If you have more questions, just drop them there. I'm gonna answer them because you are the priority. If you have questions, if you need anything, that's what we're going to do. So that's what gets priority here. Your questions, your needs, things you want to know. That's what we focus on these live streams. You are the focus, and we also make a game. Well, it's not really a game. It's a platform for you to make a game, right? It's a little RTS tower defense platform game stuff. Okay, so we have minions that fight. That's a good thing. We need to worry about the targeting because this is not working. But again, we're going to start focusing on that now. But let me repeat that. Let me be clear. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will stop what I'm doing and I'll answer your questions. And yeah, let's save this and Control S. Don't forget to save your scene. Don't forget to save, to always be safe. It's the prophylactics of scene. It's actually saving. It's Control S. It's much easier than other kinds of prophylactics. It's just Control S. Just save it. Save it. Be safe. Play it safe and save many times, as much as you can. And just stay safe. Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So what we do here, because we hit play. Okay, we're fighting, and we're making damage there. But this should change target. Why didn't it change target, right? So we need to sort of tell it, hey, change targets. Why are you still attacking the same minion, right? It's like it's going to the same minion. No, just change targets, mate. Why are you changing targets? So yes, let's fight. Let's fight the minions. How do we do this? Oh, by the way, this one has 5 attack damage. This is a lot. This one really does damage. This is like a very powerful minion. So we don't want it to be that powerful. It's too powerful. It's it's too much. So yeah, now it does the same damage as everyone else. Yeah, there it is. That's good. That's what you want. I think I kind of screwed up the let me see. Did I screw up the positionings there? Because you see how I think they look bigger now here. Yeah, I did something. I think I probably broke something with the configurations here of the health bars. Probably did something wrong there, but yeah, probably. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. If we do it like that, works fine. So it's just changing the order, right, with the last one. That makes it work. Okay. Let's save this. Let's save the prefabs. Make sure everything's working fine. There you go. There you go. So okay. Change the target. Changing the target. How do we change the target? So we need to make sure that we are actually switching targets, because right now we are when we pick a target. See, let me show you how we pick a target. We're selecting the state, right? How do we select the state? We say, do we have enemies, right? So we're actually picking the enemies first, right? Before we select the state. Okay, so we're checking if we're dying first. So first we check if we're dead, right? Then we check if we are if we have enemies, right? So if we have enemies and we have no waypoints. Waypoints equals. What if we have enemies and we have no waypoints? And we have waypoints. So this is for the enemies that are in idle state. Sorry, this is for the for the players, for the minions that are in idle state. This will work. What is it doing for the minions that are in a that are in another state? Because yeah, this is already saying, hey, grab. Okay, do we have enemies here, right? But okay, yeah, no, it's on collision start. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So on collision start, so in the start method here, right? So when in awake we start, we just simply doing all the start things. All the awake things. We have no resources available or fewer resources available. In start, we know every resource is already loaded, so it's the first thing that happens when everything is loaded before the update loop begins for this component. So we're doing super start and super awake because this is inheriting, this is extending from rogue character. So we want that to be, to do all the functionality from those. And we're going to, we're deciding, okay, let's go to the next waypoint. So if we have any waypoint, we're going to start going to the next waypoint straight away. So we're basically setting the next waypoint. That's what we're doing. And we're setting up the health indicator there. And we're doing, on collision start, we're setting up the collider, the body collider, to activate, on collision start, we want to get the enemies to be pushed into our enemies list. So if we have an enemy that is, if we have a minion within range that is not our friend, that is not of the same type as we are, right? Which is friendly or enemy, right? So we are friendly, they are enemies. So if we are a different type, we enemies push minion. And this is how we get our enemies. So we know it's in the list. The problem is that we're not, when the minion dies, it's probably not being swapped from the lists of other minions. And that is the problem. We need to make sure, we need to have a proper system to removing the minion from the different lists. So I think the best way to do that is to check the health. And once the health of a minion, like in a list, is 0, we remove it from that list. We need some kind of discrimination in the sense of deciding if we want to keep fighting that enemy or not. Basically, that's the sort of this decision making that we need to do. Are we fighting them? Do we still want to keep this in our enemy list? Like a little filter. So let's do that. That should be very simple. Actually, very, very simple. So first we check that if we are dead. So now we're going to do this here directly. We're going to check that. We're going to go through the enemies list and do this, the enemies. And let's see, you know, maybe we can do it in a little method. Remove dead enemies. There you go. Oh, okay, suggesting something. Let's look at the suggestion and see, judge by ourselves if it's a good suggestion or not. So it's getting filtering the filtering to see which enemies have a current HP greater than 0, and it's giving us the enemies that have an HP greater than 0. And that's how we know if enemies are dead. What? It's because they have a current HP of greater than 0. What? What? Am I in the multiverse right now? What's going on? This is ridiculous. This is stupid. It did the same the last time where it did a greater than. It had this greater than, smaller than issues. It's just ridiculous. Like this one, like remove dead enemies. Let's first select all the enemies that are alive. Let's look, who's alive? Well, I don't know. Why? Let's just take away the ones that are dead. You know, it's so unintuitive. You see what I mean? It's very unintuitive. Let's look at the enemies that are alive, and let's use those. You know, I don't know. I find that pretty strange. It's not normal. I think. I don't know. It's because then, of course, I imagine that it was going to do, what it's going to do is it's going to look at if this. Okay. So it's looking at if the enemy's length equals 0. Wait. Oh, it's saving it straight in there. So it's not bad, actually. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad what it's doing. No, because it's saving it straight in the enemies array. So it's not bad. No, it's good. It's actually good. I'm the stupid one here. I am to blame. I was looking for blame. I was trying to look for trouble. I was thinking that, okay, this is going to make a mistake. And it did the right thing. It was not bad. It was actually a clever way of doing it. It was just looking at the other way around than I was actually thinking about it. I was thinking, let's filter out the bad ones, and it said no. It's actually more efficient to look for the live ones and keep them there. So that's a good way of looking at it. And that's the way I should have looked at it. It's weird for me, but it was actually good. You see? So this is where we don't need to be dogmatic about this shit. And this was where I should be saying this is a nice little suggestion, and I shouldn't be like, oh, you know, okay. You see how my own preconceptions get in the way of me understanding that something is good or bad. Straight ahead, you know, and I have to be capable of looking at these things in a very adogmatic way, understanding them and saying, okay, this is a good suggestion, you know, and not trying to sort of get ahead, you know, trying to get belittling something that is probably doing good. So hey, you know, this is a good suggestion. Let's keep that good suggestion because it's good. So it's saying enemies, filter the ones that have greater HP, and let's keep that list. I was looking for fault when I shouldn't have. Look at that. Good. And how was I thinking that this was bad? Directly. That's a tell that my mind is actually just thinking this is bad straight away, and not thinking not thinking straight, not really going for critical thinking first. And that's bad. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. I shouldn't be doing that. So yes, that's a good tell. What's important when one realizes that you're doing something like this that is wrong, that is dogmatic, and when you're not being objective, is to realize it and think about it, and really think why this happened, and go back and say, okay. And by this, I'm not meaning, hey, now AI is beautiful. Yeah, let's do everything, because that would be just crossing the line and going the other way and say, AI is perfect. I will never do this again. No, that would be crossing the line to the other side. No, we need to be objective. Okay, this is a good suggestion, really good suggestion. I shouldn't be, just trying to, be mad at things just for being mad at things. This is good. These enemies filter. Okay, this is. Just keep the good enemies, and if the length is 0, it's trying to set the waypoints to nothing, and then it says let's get the current waypoint index equals 0, it says, and origin copy object 3D position. This is good. Okay, I like this. I think we should keep this in this way. Yes. I think though that origin, I don't know if should we keep the origin, should we change the origin only then, or because maybe we should change the origin as well if the enemies are like if an enemy if the enemy at 0 dies, I may want to change the origin because that's my current target. So if the current target dies, I also want to change my origin. Probably. I don't know if that makes sense to do right now, but let's do that. And again, as always, important, let's keep objective. And when something is good, it's good, and that's it. Not here. No, not here. It's we'll probably want to add it somewhere here, and say, yeah, remove that enemies. Good. And yes. Good stuff. Let's come here and see if we, by removing the dead enemies there. Okay, so this one's being killed. Oh, this one's just so slow. Why are they so slow? Oh, fucking hell. Are they even moving? Oh, no. Right, they're no moving. Wait, something. I broke something. Did I break something? Did I get computers mad? They get mad at me and they don't want to play anymore with me. Yeah, I probably broke something here. This is what happens when you're using a development version. Sometimes you break things, and well, yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah. So yeah, but in this case, I think we're removing the enemies like that. Enemies. We're pushing a new enemy if we have it in the thing there. Okay, there's probably an error. So let's dig in here and look. Let's see. No, there was no error. Wait, what? Why did it die? Oh, because we had a 5 here. Yeah. So, okay. It's not looking at the enemy. It's hitting this one, and now it's starting to hit this one. But it's not. You see that? You saw that, right? It's hitting the enemy, but it's not looking at it. That's what happened. So let's let's make it look at the enemy, right? I mean, look it in the eye when you're gonna hit it. Let's look at that. Sorry, I think my wife's coming home today. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Just to see, because yeah, she's on her way from work, and I'm just seeing that she's fine. Okay. So good things, good stuff. We need to make sure that our enemies look at each other. Our contrincants probably. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm just inventing it, I think. I don't know if it exists. It exists in Spanish, something very similar, but I don't know if it exists in English. I think it does. I'm just going to say it. All right. Yes. So those who are about to fight, they should look at each other in the eyes. And what better way to do that than to just, when you say attack, when you apply the state to attack someone, you should do the same thing we're doing here. We're looking at the current waypoint, right? Because that's the thing. Since you're already in attack range, you are not turning towards the enemy. So that's a problem. We should make sure that we are looking at the enemy when we're attacking it. So even because if the enemy is moving around or something, you know, for some reason, because it's attacking something else, maybe the enemy is attacking someone else, and yeah, and they're moving, but they are still within the range, we should still rotate. If we have a gun, right, for instance, right, we shouldn't be shooting straight, like, okay, we don't turn anymore, you know, we don't turn. We just, no, we should actually be moving around and hitting the enemy. So this is important. We're in attack range. We look for, yeah, what's the shortest weapon we should fight with, all that. And but the first thing we're going to do is, first, before doing anything there, we're going to look at our enemy. And the enemy is enemy. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Const enemy equals this dot enemies 0, and we know we have enemies here, right? So we know we always have, if we're here, we have enemies. We know the enemies are there. We know the enemies is here, and so we want to hit the enemy. And so we're just going to use this here. We're going to use this here. So we want to look at enemy.object3d dot position. So that's what we want to look at. And yeah, there we go. I think that should work. We're looking at the enemy. And yes, let's look at that. And if you're enjoying this, if you're liking this live stream, please help me out with a like, with a subscription, with a follow on Twitch, wherever you're watching this from. We're both on Twitch and on YouTube, so you can follow me there, and you can leave a like, you can subscribe, you can follow, and you can leave a comment or something, you know, just say something, say hello, and it really helps. YouTube says, oh, someone likes this thing. Actually, it's not some bald dude talking there by himself, because this is how I feel sometimes. So it's just living just a, hey, bald guy, you know, it's just, hey, bearded dude. It's just something like that. And it kind of helps, really helps. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's do this. Let's see if it works there. And there is looking at each other there. Yeah, we should probably I don't like the snap. It shouldn't snap like that, right? It should probably be more of a, you know, an animation. So let's do the transition. More of a nice little transition there. So why is it? Yeah, because here we're snapping. So how do we do the transition in a proper way? We should do probably, I think there's a rotator words, but I don't think it's going to rotator words. Is there rotator words? Quaternion rotator words. And rotator words is rotator words that quaternion. So yeah, we're actually moving to a certain quaternion. But the quaternion we need to calculate it in that way, right? So yeah, do we have time to actually get into this today? Because I'm gonna finish this up in maybe 10 minutes at most. So if I'm going to get into this, we're going to leave like a big gap, probably, if we're going to like start doing all this crap today. should we just leave it like this for today and maybe focus on the other thing we were doing? Because otherwise we're gonna leave the other stuff without doing it. And I think, okay, we're gonna leave this like this for now. We know it snaps. We're gonna change it. We're gonna look at that later and show you how to do a proper rotation. Because there's multiple ways. There's easy ways and there's quaternion way, the quaternion magic way, quaternion math way. It kind of is magic, you know. Kind of have to know the words, the magic words to do it. So it's a bit, yeah. But yeah, I very much I would very much like to look first at the other stuff, like the other very important stuff that we have here, which is the okay. So we have the minion there. It snaps. Yes, that's cool. That's fine. But then we have why is it? Why are the other friendly minions not moving? Sorry, the other melee minions. They should be moving. They should be moving. Why aren't they moving? Okay. Okay, yes. This is the problem of just doing it this way. Okay. You see, we just introduced a problem here. We can't remove the waypoints like this. We can't just set up the waypoints in this way, because what happens is the minions, we're actually giving them the waypoints as we instantiate them. We're instantiating them, giving them the waypoints, and now we come in here and say remove the dead enemies, you see, and we're removing the waypoints as we do that. So we should probably do this if we have enemies. So let's put a yeah, let's put this thing here. Yeah, if we have enemies, right, if we don't have enemies, we return. So we put it as a guard. We can't do this if we don't have enemies, right? If we have enemies, we want to do this. Yeah, we're going to do the reduce. We're going to do all these things, but otherwise we don't want to do this. And what's important here is that enemies are not going to be moving after hitting an enemy. You see what happens here, right? This guy starts punching these guys, right? Starts killing. Okay, let's okay, they were starting to come back in. Okay. So brilliant, it worked. But say, okay, let's give it a 5 again. Let's give it a damage of 5. So we start punching these guys, and now you see this guy should start coming in and move. Well, not this guy, because this one's not being instantiated. These ones that are being instantiated, they should move. So say we kill, yeah, say we're gonna leave this one at 1. Okay, gonna do that now. Okay, so we're gonna start fighting. Okay, that one's dead. I didn't see the health bar going though. That was weird. But hey, these ones are here fighting. It's just waiting. And now, oh, here we have a fight. They're all fighting. Oh, one's dead. There you go. And now, what's going on? Oh, right, because they are not receiving the new waypoints. So we need to set up the waypoints again, because they receive the waypoints to move around when they've been instantiated. We change those waypoints when they receive an enemy. They see an enemy and they go, okay, and now I need to move towards the enemy. So they forget where they were going. So now we need to sort of say, the game logic should say, hey, which ones do we have in the scene, right, that are sort of like the minions that are instantiated? Which one should I now keep? You know, if they don't have enemies, they should be going towards. So I should command them to go and cross the line, right? So in a way, saying, okay, if you're not fighting, go and get to the finish line. That's sort of what we need to do from the game logic. Okay, so we're coming here to the game logic now, and we can say from the game logic, hey, spawn the wave. Okay, perfect, right? So this is what we do: we spawn a wave. If we have something in the wave to spawn, right, we just keep spawning the wave. So if there's nothing, we just go away. Then we're doing the selection. This is the tower selection and all that. But something else we need to do here now is that we probably need to keep like a list of our little component, like a little objects. Sorry, little objects. Yeah, well, objects. Yes, the minions that we instantiate here, right? We are not keeping them. We're not letting. Right now, we're simply saying, okay, we instantiate you. Go away. Bye bye. But we have no way to know, hey, are you still there? Who are you? We need to keep them here, probably. We need to have like a little array here that represents the the minions in the scene. So every minion in the scene should be going towards their corresponding waypoint. Everyone that is instantiated from here. That's important. Every minion that is instantiated from the base goes towards the other base. Because the minions that are instantiated from a barrack sort of tower, they don't go to the other side, right? They stay wherever they are, right? So if you're a minion and you're being instantiated in the base, you go to the other side. If you're not otherwise, you're not a minion, you're something else, right? If you're a minion that is being instantiated from a barrack, then the barrack controls you, not the game logic. The barrack is your controller, is your actual says, oh, I have this minion here. I decide where they stay, where they go, whatever they do, my decision. So in this case, anything that is being instantiated from here gets added here. So we don't actually look at all the minions in the scene. You see what I mean? It's only the ones that we instantiate here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say, yes. In this case, we're only instantiating them from one side because this is a regular tower defense. But I want you to consider the case where we could have two players, like a versus, where two players say one is coming from here, right, instantiating their minions, and the other one's coming from here, instantiating their minions. You have two towers, the other has two towers, and you start fighting like, okay, who kills the most minions, and you get something like that. So proper like a versus tower defense. For a case like that, like in a more symmetric, imagine a more symmetric field, and you could have a versus sort of tower defense where your minions fight in the middle there, and you start, to sort of bring in, you could build an actual RTS with that. Maybe it is a proper RTS. Maybe you have like a League of Legends sort of thing, Dota sort of game, and and you want to have like a little hero here that fights with the minions and all that, and farming and all this. So if your minions are coming from here and from here, in that case we need to define wherever you're coming from, you should go to the other goal. So we should say, okay, you go to the goal that is not of your this is the goal, right? You should head to the goal that is not of your same type. So we should have the goal sort of defined, right? That's what we should have those. So what we're going to do is how do we claim direction with that, right? Because we don't have like an algorithm. We're just making it very simple. We're not using like a pathfinding algorithm. So in this case, all we want to do, we're going to focus on this specific sort of logic now, because I think that if you're going to do something else, you're going to have to change the logic anyway. And maybe we can extend it later. But let's do it this way. And let's say that whoever we instantiate, we keep. Let's do that now for now. So we say just give this, we say enemy minions. Okay, and say minion array. Yeah, all that. I don't want to waste this autocompletes. It's ridiculous autocompletes. This is something that my editor can do easily. So why are you making me waste stupid autocompletes? It's like it just wants me to waste, resources for no reason. I mean, just, there's autocompletes and autocompletes. This is not one of them. So this would be, which is every time we instantiate a minion like this, okay, we do this dot minion. No, this is the enemy minions dot push minion. Okay, so we bring it in here, and that's it. So yeah, we added there. There you go. We have our minions here. We need to do the same as we were doing in the other one. We need to remove them as they're dead, as they die, or as they leave the scene. So if they're no longer present in the scene, that's another thing we need to do, right? If the minion we're fighting is no longer around to fight, then we need to we remove it, right? Well, in this case, it's not fighting, right? Because if an enemy crosses the goal, they disappear, right? So we need to remove it from this list. So if we're doing that every single time, every single frame we do is, we say, yeah, this is good. The same thing it did before. It realized that it's like it read our minds. Oh my god, that's so weird. That's so weird. Oh fucking hell, that's so weird. That's so weird. It read our minds. Shit, that was fucking weird. Okay, we need to remove the stupid minions, and we need to do we need to say that I'm probably being right now. I'm probably being the best propaganda machine for them. They're not paying me. Fuck them. Fuck them. If they want to give me money, they give me money, but they're not paying me. There was a good. We had bad suggestions, and I mentioned them, but these were pretty good suggestions, and a mind read right there, which was good. So we're removing the dead minions and all that, yes, but we're also every time we see a minion. Yeah, this is very inefficient though. It's very inefficient. It's okay. We should probably be a bit more efficient about this, not just going through all of them and saying, okay, let's remove the dead ones, and now let's dig through the ones we have alive, and because yeah, we should check. Okay, so the things we should check for are yeah, we don't need the parentheses there, or minion dot object 3d dot parent, which it doesn't have a parent. So if it doesn't have a parent, right? So if there's no parent, so if it's been removed from the scene, we don't want it here again. We just want to remove it. So oh no, if it has a parent, no, that was good. Yeah, because if it has greater HP and it has a parent, yeah, we're doing positive filtering, right? So if it has a parent and it has HP, we want to keep it here in the enemy minions list, right? So we have our enemy minions here, and what we do is we say we're going to go through all the enemy minions. What else do we need to do? Wait, let's think about it for a second. What do you want me to do here? No, shut up, game over. No. Fucking hell, that was stupid. That was a really stupid situation. You see, the bigger the suggestion happens, the more you try to make decisions, the more stupid they get. So you have to be very careful. Okay, so the waypoints, stupid waypoints. We need to give them back. So if the enemy, so let's say set waypoint to idle minions. So what we're going to do is check if they're not fighting. So idle will say they're not in a fight. That's what we say, right? So what we're going to do is, I'm going to call this here. Set waypoints to idle minions. Oh, fucking hell. I keep doing that. I keep pressing enter instead of the one I want to press. Okay, so what we do is simply do, what's this doing? It's going through, let's see if it's doing the right thing. So we do minion of enemy minions. It's going through, checking if, weapons is equals 0. It could be, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I would say that no. Okay, no. What we want to do is, I like to use let for this, enemy minions, and we want to say that, what's going on there? Yeah, minion. See, it gets in the way like that. I just want to do my thing. Just don't bother me like that. So if the minion the enemies, right, length equals 0, it's too much. It's too obtrusive. You know, it just gets in the way so much. We want to give the waypoints to this minion like that, right? So it's just going to go to the next waypoint. The problem is if the next waypoint is to the other side, and that is a problem. So we probably need to say that the origin is, what is the origin? Let's see what the origin is. Origin should probably be the waypoint 0. Okay, so it should be this dot waypoint 0. Why, you may be asking? Well, because if we don't do that, it may go back to the previous, you know, if it's closer to, say, let's show you a little example. If it's fighting here and the closest waypoint is here, it's going to go back here. So we wanted to move forward. So we say, okay, go to, you know, we have the origin here, you know, if we are further away, so if the waypoint is closer to the origin than we are, right? So then we need to go to the next. You see what I mean? So that's the logic behind that. It's always going to choose the one that is, you know, closer to the origin, that is further from the origin. You know, so it's going to say if we are, because to choose the next one, it says, where are you closer to the origin, right? So it's going to go through the next one and the next one and say, okay, which one should I choose from all these waypoints? It's going to pick them based on our distance to that waypoint and to the origin, right? So it's probably going to set the new origin directly by saying, okay, I need to go to this one, but hey, no, this is this is already past. So yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Hey, let's see. Let's see what happens. I think that's what's going to happen. Honestly, I am not sure. No. Okay, damage 1. Let's test this fight now. Fight. Okay, we're waiting for the minions to come by. What's happening? They're not coming through. What's going on? Do we have an error here? No errors. Nothing. So what's going on? Why are they not moving? Let's see. Okay, sorry. It's my wife coming home. Okay. So yeah. Sorry about that. Had to make sure things were okay. We're gonna finish now the live stream anyway, but I think we had a good run from with things here. Let's first check this thing with the enemies. Why are they not moving? And let's finish it up. Let's make sure we're good with this. Why are we not moving? Okay, because we're saying that, okay, we're doing something stupid here. We're setting the waypoints every single time and setting it to 0. Probably that. Zero and so yeah, and this dot no and minion waypoints equals 0. So yeah, let's do this because we would need to check. Yeah, because every single time what's happening here is that it's coming here every single time because they don't have enemies all the time. Yeah, so you probably noticed that before me, and you're laughing at me right now, and that's good. I deserve that. So, all right, let's look how it does now. I think it's just still one problem, but yeah, let's see what happens there. As we kill that one, and now all these minions are coming through here, and they should. Okay, they're moving. That's a good thing. They're gonna start fighting. Let's see if now they actually go away. After they, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they killed this one. Oh, it moves back. See what I said? Exactly what we thought, what we said was not going to happen with this solution. It happens. Exactly the opposite of what I said. Which is ridiculous because it actually, if we look at this position 0, it's here, right? So it's saying if this is the origin, right? If this is origin, and this is the next one, right? It should actually be moving to this one, right? Because this is origin. So yeah, that's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. So how do we know we're way past it? Because that's the problem. But hey, we're getting close. We're getting close for it to work. Yeah, we're getting very close. It's strange that it's changing the position. That it's going back, right? When the waypoint was saying when the waypoint should actually change when we are further from the origin than the previous waypoint. So if you select a waypoint and that waypoint is closer to the origin than you, right? Then it should say, oh no, this is no longer a waypoint. This is, go to the next. So the go to next waypoint thing here, I'm covering my mouth a bit. That's probably a problem. You're probably not hearing me when I do that. Here, right? So it's saying distance to origin. So we say our position, right? Distance to the origin. We're getting the distance to the origin, and we're saying that this is what you're doing. We're doing this, by the way, when you apply the state here. We're saying move, right? We're saying, okay, let's look at our distance from the origin, and if our distance to the origin is greater or equal than the distance from origin to waypoint. You see that? You see, we have exactly a property for this. So I'm thinking maybe this property is not being set correctly. I think this is a setter, I think, in a way. I think some kind of setter that we have here. No? This is not a setter, so where are we setting that? Okay, when we say go to next waypoint, that's where we're setting it. That's the problem. That's the problem. The problem is that we don't have this set. So this is set to whatever it was before. And that's a problem. Yeah, we should set this every single time. We should be setting this. If we have a waypoint, we should probably be setting this. Distance from origin to waypoint. Yeah. So how do we know this if we don't have, if you're not setting this every single time? Let's see if it works if we simply set it here. Maybe we should just set this here and, you know, stop bothering with it. Let's go ahead and see if it works. And yeah, we kill that one. And we're gonna give the first minion, the first one of them all, like this one. We're gonna give him like 5 in damage. Yeah, let's make it. It's going back. No. It didn't work. Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, something broke. What happened? Get word position. Yeah, oh, yeah, we have some problem here. Transform controller. Oh, yeah, okay. This is a problem with the, if I had it selected. This is a problem with the multi-select. It's a problem in the current development version. So it's not a problem for you because the multi-select is going in and saying there's part of the multi-select that is not defined there. So if I have something selected, it's asking for an object when it should be an array. So that's a problem. Yeah, it's things where is this? We have no. I'm expecting a certain function and it's not there. So yeah. All right. Okay, so I guess I'm boring people because people are leaving. We don't have that many people as we had before. Well, more or less the same. But there were more people on YouTube, and the people on YouTube have left. There's like 3 people now. It's kind of sad, but that's okay. We had like 7, and then there's like that was 7. I mean, 7 people for me is a lot here on YouTube. It's a lot, really. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who came through and then you know, chat and mostly people who chatted. I'm very grateful for people chatting always, because you know it really makes my day, makes my live stream be worth it. So yes. Okay. So let's check this out. So are we okay? We have the origin here. The next waypoint is here. And distance from origin to waypoint. Okay, no. Okay, no. Yeah. No. That's the problem. We're looking if our distance is greater. Right. What we should do is check not our distance from. Yeah, well, this is our. No, it's okay. No, we're doing it right. No, this is our distance from origin and the distance from origin to waypoint. So if the distance from origin to waypoint, so as if our distance to the origin is greater than the distance from the origin to the waypoint, which it is, in this case 100% it is, what we do is we go to the next waypoint, right? And yeah, and it is definitely, because this is, I mean, this is a hypotenuse, right? I mean, you're seeing it here, right? It's this, think of it as a triangle, right? We're fighting here, right? This is the hypotenuse of our triangle here. this is much longer distance than this. So it's very, geometrically simple to figure out. Distance to origin, we're doing this correctly, I think. So maybe we're choosing the waypoint wrong here. Okay, we're checking if the distance to the origin, if our distance to origin is greater than the distance from origin to waypoint. That's okay. And that makes sense because we have the new waypoints, and the new waypoints are like, okay, this is 0. We are deciding which waypoint to go to. So it's going, okay, 0 is not it. It's going, okay, let's check out 1. So it comes here and says, okay, we have waypoints, all right, and says, okay, waypoint index greater than waypoints of length. But yeah, that's not the case. So okay, so it says current waypoints plus equals 1. So we have one more. So we have current waypoints is 1. If there is no current waypoint, right? So if there's no if the current waypoint, which in this case is the waypoint, is what we are defining, like the latest the waypoint at the current index. If the waypoint at the current index is sorry, let's go back to where we were here. If the waypoint at the current index doesn't exist, we return. Okay, so we know we have something there because we're moving towards it. And we say origin. We copy origin. Okay, we say origin is object 3D position. Okay, I like that. I like that. So this is very disconcerting because I don't really understand what's going on there. Am I assigning the origin here just to be sure that I'm not doing something stupid, like with the origin itself? Because in this case, I'm copying the position like that, yes, and the origin is being set somewhere else, I think. Who's saying the origin? Yeah, this is copying the position here. The waypoint position. And in this case of the minion here, where is it saying the origin? Because the origin here is being set by going to the next waypoint, right? When we set the next waypoint, we decide, okay, just go to this origin. Or set this as the origin. When we set a new waypoint, right? So it goes to 1. It says, okay, now the origin is my position. Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. So we should probably decide the next waypoint. In this case, we should probably decide which waypoints to send from here, right? From here. So we know where origin is, right? So we should be able to tell which waypoint is closer to origin, and yeah, if we're further away from that, I'm thinking if this is appropriate though, considering that if we have a zigzaggy thing, right? This wouldn't allow us to do much of a zigzag. Like an S, right? If we had an X, like yeah, it's not very extendable, because if we say we have something like this, right, a straight line, right, like that, and it comes here, right, and comes back here, then in this waypoint here, right, if we fight here, we'll be closer to the origin than the waypoint that is around here, right? So we may be sent to that waypoint. So we probably need some kind of accountability of waypoints and which ones we have crossed or not. And that's probably something we do in the game logic, which makes sense, because the game logic is probably the least extendable thing about this template. The most extendable thing is all the tooling you get with the minions and the characters and all that. So we should probably make it more of a game logic thing to set the waypoints and make sure that, you know, we give the appropriate waypoints to the object. At least we know that the fighting system works, the fighting mechanism works. We need to make the animations and all that, the attacks, and we should probably like add a couple weapons. Like we should probably add like a distance weapon and a melee weapon, so that say if an like have some minions have like a proper distance weapons, so that if they shoot at us from a distance, and we can, you know, fight a close range and a distance and see how that evolves. That would be very interesting. So yeah, let's do that next, okay? Because we're already way past the limit here that I've set to myself. There's not that many people. Well, no, a few more people have joined. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so you know, yeah, I'm trying to monitor the numbers here, but YouTube comes and goes. Sometimes there's more people, sometimes less. There's less people. I try to keep the more interesting things when there's more people in. We've had a decent, consistent 6-7 people on YouTube, which is great. Usually we have less, so I really appreciate that. You know, and I'm sad to leave now that we have 2 people on Twitch, which is crazy. We usually have there's times where there's a lot of people on Twitch and there's like nobody on YouTube, and there's times all the way around. And well, I'm coming back next Tuesday, okay? As always, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're here. We're going to be doing some game dev. We're going to be doing some game design. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And yeah, as always, I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy coming here and exposing myself to you, and sort of trying to get my my best game development tips and things that I know, the best Rogue Engine tips and things, answer the questions that you have as best as I can. It's always you are the priority here. You know, I want, you know, you to go out thinking, hey, I learned something, or I got something out of this. So that's the idea, okay? So don't hesitate to ask questions or anything you need. I'm happy to help. And yeah. Oh, we have Query Wizard saying, "Oh, Query Wizard, you are Brandon Blackwell. you went to Twitch. You were Brandon Blackwell on YouTube, and now it's we have you here." Brilliant. Saying it was great having you in the background for my dev work today. Oh, thank you so much. I imagine many people watch this like the exact same way as I do. It's just having streamers as background, which is brilliant. So thank you so much. I'm interested in your engine also, it says. Thank you so much. And remember, here's the thing. Join the Discord. Because there you can ask questions. You can, you know, I can send you snippets of code and things. And if you ask a question there, it can like prompt me to something that I could do in the next live stream and things like that. You know, it really helps. And yeah, and there's a channel for live stream talk for things like that. So if people want to ask things about a live stream or say anything, there's a channel for that. There's a channel for bug reports and all of these things. You know, you're welcome to Join there, ask questions, give feedback on Rogue Engine, and as much as I can help, as always, I'm here to help. I'm here to to provide assistance, to be of a good of service to this community, the most beautiful community, game developers. I mean, creatives in general. I think it's beautiful people to serve, and I'm glad. I'm really thankful to be at your service. Yes, and that's what Rogue Engine is about. So thank you so much for being there, and let's reconvene next Tuesday. As always, 7 p.m. between 7 and 7:30 p.m. GMT. Unless there's some kind of issue, I may come here a bit later. 7:45, I think it was today, or something like that. 7:45, around 46, probably. But hey, yes, it's English time around GMT. Be careful with that. So yes, thank you so much for joining. See you next time. Bye bye.